Despite all the well-intentioned efforts across the DE&I landscape, we have made very little progress in a space that I am very invested in seeing evolve, which is our corporate and company and workplaces. And that starts first and foremost with what I now get to impact and support the evolution of, which is the B Corp community. We have to first start with education. We have to increase the knowledge and skill set of our leaders and our organizations. And by doing that, we have to begin having the conversation that has been absent for too long within our corporate and home environments, which is we have to talk about race. And we have to build our racial literacy skills in order to build our cultural competence skills, where we are navigating and leading organizations, teams, and people representing all identities, all social backgrounds, and all cultural and ethnic representations. And then the second thing that we do is that once we build up those skill sets, then we help organizations apply those skill sets to ensuring that they are creating narratives, communication strategies, and products and services that are much more representative and inclusive of the needs and wants of the global majority.
Until about 3 years ago, I was very much clueless. I would describe myself as clueless when it comes to racial equity and understanding racial issues, and specifically understanding my whiteness and how that relates to how I move throughout the world in every single possible way. So the invitation was to a group called White Men for Racial Justice, which we can talk more about, but it's a space, it's affinity space for all those identifying as white men, and to come together, to have a space to do just that, to learn, to unlearn what we've been taught, and to relearn, and have a space to do that in a vulnerable way with each other. Because frankly, as white men, also again, speaking for myself, vulnerability has always been a challenge for me. Showing up in spaces and being vulnerable with others is a challenge. And so to have this space where we can come together and unlearn and reflect, and it's deep personal excavation has been transformational. Until there's proximity to it, it's so hard to get it. The circles I move throughout are built to protect me from that, and to not have me be proximate to the things that are going on.
A statistic that I'll share with folks that are joining us today is 75% of white Americans do not have a personal or intimate relationship with a person of color. And so this issue of proximity is very clear. And to your point, it's designed that way so that we don't know each other.
I've got a million reasons why I don't have time to show up for this. And it's until I really got in there and felt it, it's so easy to walk away, because there's not that connection. When there's things that are happening in the world that are like attack on him and his humanity, fundamentally attacking who he is, and sharing with me that experience of those things. To me, they're just headlines, right? I can be upset about them. I cannot agree with them, but they're headlines at the end of the day in some ways, until there's proximity.
These are future-proof skills. And they're really about centering humanity and showing up with our heart. My survival, my existence on this planet has been predicated on me knowing and understanding you. And I mean you, Rooney, as a white man, as a white person, to the largest and fullest extent that I understand myself. But the reverse hasn't been true. And so this opportunity for us to create connection through proximity and through genuine interest, I think is so critical in us coming together and fortifying our strengths in really changing our world and changing our work environments.